YouTube, what is up? Let's look at Tejo. Let's talk about Tejo. So, new agent, first ability is a drone. I gotta say the duration of this is long. All of the old drones got nerfed because of how long they can go for. So this is invisible until you can see. I think it's like 18, 20 meters. If you go up like this and hit someone, it scans them like a Cypher ult, and it suppresses them for 8 seconds. So like a Cypher, nope, like a KO knife. Pretty strong. Very, very strong. Any drone is good. I would probably say it's like, it might be better than the Skydog, honestly. I would say it's similar levels to a Skydog. Maybe a little bit better than the Skydog, honestly, these days. So, very, very strong. Then we have this stun. The stun isn't great, but I will say reactively pretty good, right? Say I'm getting rushed, I can do it into the area there. We can have a smoke behind. And the good thing about this is just how fast I get my gun out, right? I can literally shoot insta, right? My gun's out before it's even exploded. So I can actually anchor a little bit with that. I can at least stop the original hit. So that's kind of nice. Or if you like, you need to help out your team from anywhere, then obviously you can. So it's a fast bit of util to actually just use and have gun out. So that's nice in that area. It's more, in my opinion, it's instead of like a set strat stun, unless you're using it for like map control where you would do it off like here, for example. I'm more just using it reactive, to be honest. Like say that I get breach shorted or something and I want to delay or just buy a little bit of time, to be honest. So I see it more of a reactive bit of util. Then let's get on to the really good bit, because this is nuts. This is super, super strong. So I like the idea. Me and Mini were talking about this. I like the idea of having like a refreshable bit of util that does damage. Problem is, I've got 2 of them, and it does a lot of damage. Like, it kills everyone that's in it. So that is, like, incredibly strong. Especially when you combo that with stuff, and then especially the fact that it has a 40-second cooldown. So in theory, I could, let's just say this is beginning of round, barrier goes down, I have a default, right? I'm taking B, and we're taking over towards middle, right? So it fills up all of mail. That's pretty strong. And then we wait a little bit, we've created pressure A, whatever, then we want to exec. And then I can do this to back a site, and it's already there. And then say we go in towards the site, right? We're planting, and then maybe there's like 25 seconds left, so I might get it for the after plant as well if you did it well, which means that I have a baby Brimble for the after plant. And that's really, really strong. And there's no skill involved. I can just click and plug and play it. I can click and go. So, yeah, this bit of util is one of the best bits of util we've seen in the game. It really is. So it's probably going to get changed a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. Ult-wise, the ult's good. The ult is like a top 10 ult, and then you put it on the right map, it's like a top 5 ult, right? So think of retaking over towards back of B. Like, this is strong. Like, it obviously goes in layers, so you could like Omen TP, Euro TP, like beyond it. Raise Satchel, you would survive but tank a little bit, etc. Jet Dash, but still very, very strong. Super strong after plant agent, super strong retake agent, and just map control in general. He does a lot. He really does do a lot. He's a very strong agent, kind of all-rounder. Only thing you're missing is like flashes, really, but if we had flashes on this, it would be the most broken agent we've seen. So very, very strong. Let's talk about some combos. Let's talk about some combos right here. So what I'm thinking, let's go over towards split, seeing as we're just on it. So it has the same area of effect as hot hands, right? You sort of fill up mail earlier. So back of sight, if I'm just doing this back of sight, the thing that is very, very strong, we talk about flashes, right? We need flashes in comps now if we don't have this guy, maybe, depending on map. We now can 100% Azure TP to places that were not safe before that are now 100% safe. I can damage the whole back of site, no one survives this area, and then I can TP into the corner. That's very strong with a Yoru. Like, I have no risk taking with a lot of these TPs, And like you do that on some maps, and that's, I don't know, it's really, really strong, right? Even if we're just thinking of this map, you could TP over towards here. You could get into the corner. That's very strong. 100% again. Let's think of an example over towards A. You would have to use some kind of smoke for this one, to be fair. Like, you would have to do a smoke over towards here, like block a bit of this. But you could still TP into this corner, and it at least for this one, at least decreases the chances of you getting killed, which opens up the possibilities a lot. So that's kind of one combo that I'm thinking of that is like very strong. And then the obvious ones, right? We're starting to look at let's do Deadlock, because I guess Deadlock is like the best example for this. Do the Gravnet that goes through walls. So I can throw a Gravnet over towards here on Bind at the moment. It goes through lamps, and I can just it's a mini Brimall. It's so crazy. And then that's the whole of lamps. And then like, what, you want to do a default over towards here? Sure. And then we can do the Yorotech that we were talking about earlier. Like, I can TP into these areas now, and they're safe no matter what, right? As long as I have vision on short, I know that this area is safe to TP into. Then you could get a little bit more bold as well that we were talking about earlier, right? You could maybe do one over towards default. Let's move these so it's less obvious, right? We have this here, and then you could have this here, and then you could probably TP over towards default. Maybe you had a drone that cleared close box. The options and the kind of things it allows you to do with Yoru is super strong. And then you just have the extra things of like the Gravnet into damage. Very, very strong. Tell you what, the breach done into the damage is nuts. Like, even if I'm thinking of just Haven, breach done over towards damage is really, really good. Right? You can start doing these kind of defaults, and you're just making sure that if they actually do commit, they're like dead. That's pretty good. And then you could get like really nerdy with it. What's a good example of really nerdy? So you could do like, okay, let's go really nerdy. We got breach damage, right? So sorry, we have the Tejo damage back of sight. Then you could slow default, and then, you know, if you're in a slow, you go to the middle of the suck, right? So you could have the middle of the suck on the edge of the Tejo damage, and so anyone that's in like this area of the suck would go into the middle, into the damage, and this area is slowed anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. And then both of these bits of util refresh for the afterplant anyway. So in afterplant, you're going to have a Gravnet and the Tejo damage, so they have to tap the spike twice. And then on the first one, you probably don't even have to use any utils. You could even delay that even longer. And you don't want to play on site anymore, because playing on site is a lot harder because of the damage that comes in, and the areas you're just super committed. You're going to be playing retake more, but then it's harder to retake because we got the damage, and then you combine it with an Astra. We got the Astra suck as well. And I mean, you just combine it with the Astra, it's sick as well, right? These two next to each other with the damage on top is insanely strong. So yeah, like the trio that I'm thinking in my head that I can't stop thinking about really when it comes to this agent is these two and Tejo. I think that it really enables Yoru to do stuff that you couldn't do before. And I think if you're just looking at sure, we'll use Haven again. If we're just looking at like map control, I will say that this doesn't work fully just because of the delay in terms of the damage that I'm doing, but I'm choosing it as an example. You'd have to use his stun instead. But being able to like take map control with this on defense, set up like a Yoru, and then be able to rotate with Tejo is very, very strong. Like taking map control, setting up a Yoru, and you got to think as well, like the damage breaks a lot of Cypher utils. So if you have a Yoru TP that's out of range of his like Brim Watch, whatever it is, Brim smokes, like it's pretty good. Like Chambers could do something similar, but the problem with the Chambers is the Chamber would then, in theory, the TP would get broken, right, because of the damage. So Chambers, people would just start doing this, and then, I mean, as a Chamber, you could probably get out as soon as you see the missile. You would have to TP to run out of there, but it's just a very strong ability. I can't see this damage staying like this. It's very, very strong. Being able to default with damage is insanely strong, and the fact is you can default and then This is what I'm saying. Default exec after plant, or at least default after plant with your damage. And fast strats are so strong. I would be so, dude, being in a team that is like not expected to do that well must be the best thing ever right now. There is so much you can come up with. It is going to be really interesting. Ciphers are in for a bit of a rough time. Dude, all Sentinels are in for a bit of a rough time. I think I would start looking at some of the other Sentinels. I think teams are going to have to start playing their defense probably the most proactive we've ever seen. Maybe Sage becomes a little bit more legit. Deadlock might become... No, Deadlock stuff gets broken. But the Deadlock's good because of the GravNet. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Dude, the Ciphers now, like imagine playing Heaven here. You're not even going to hear a drone. Like the drone's going to run into sight. It's going to spot all the trips. The trips are then going to get double mollied. So you have no trips. That's without the anti-strat of just doing it where the normal trips are anyway. Man, it changes a lot. I'm jealous of teams because this must be really fun at the moment, but the teams that are expected to win, I would be a little bit nervous just purely because I mean, this changes everything. You can get upset pretty easy just because of how good Tejo is. So yeah, super strong. Let me know in the comments what kind of team do you think, like teams that like to cook. I'm thinking like K-Corp, you got Sadak there, you have Eng there. Like they should be loving this really, and I know he likes to put in like 12-14 hour days, so they're probably ones that are going to thrive from this kind of change. But it does change a lot. Kickoff's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited just to see what teams do with this, to be honest. So I'm jealous and not jealous of... I'm jealous of the coaches that are in the teams that aren't expected to do well. You can come up with some mad stuff. And I think as well, those teams that are trying IGLs, like new IGLs, dude, when you can brute force over towards a site and you don't have to default and you could literally... I mean, look how strong that is. And then you could drone up at the beginning and no one can see the drone until you get to like past this point. And by that point, dude... You're only seeing the drone when it gets to like here. It's really good for CXX with a Sova. You could replace the breach if you wanted to. I don't actually think it's that good on Haven. I think its best maps are Split, Fracture, Bind. Honestly, maybe Abyss just purely because of the retake and afterplant situation. But yeah, I've blabbed on for long enough. Really strong agent. It's going to change everything up. You're going to see a team use it on every single map. It's that kind of strong. We will see the damage get nerfed in some way or another. But to be honest, pretty cool idea. Pretty cool idea, pretty cool agent. Just the damage is a little bit too strong. That's basically where I'm at with it. But yeah, let's see how teams use it for kickoff. It's going to be nuts. Let me know in the comments again what team you think is going to be best with this. Who cooks the best, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, I'll see you soon, guys. Peace, peace, peace.